The reason the studio is so important to me is I've had a complete lifestyle change. So after 33 years in corporate marketing and training in my spare time as a florist, I gave up the corporate world last year and bought a business from somebody who was retiring. So it was really imperative for me to have a beautiful space to work in. Hi, I'm Ali and I live in Beaconsfield. I put a lot of thought into what I wanted from the space in terms of a working studio, and the light is absolutely critical. What was also important to me is that the studio is a little oasis of calm. And when it was finished, the first thing I noticed that when I went in every morning, my shoulders dropped. So it is a working studio that I use every day to make up different kinds of flowers, whether that's for weddings, whether that's seasonal bouquets or funerals, which I do a lot of. I also run private workshops in my studio because it's such a lovely, calm space. So in terms of the differences made to my day-to-day life, I don't do an office commute anymore. What I love is that it gives me the flexibility, and it really is an escape. In a nutshell, the reason we chose Hawksbeck is expertise. This is what Hawksbeck do day in, day out. Now owning my own business, I know the power of personal recommendation and the importance of Google reviews and Trustpilot, and I would absolutely wholeheartedly recommend Hawksbeck. So my favourite features, I know you said one, but I've actually got three. One is the light. It's absolutely amazing. And the skylight is absolutely genius. I think the second thing is the birchwood, because it kind of oozes eco credentials and it's a super warm. And I think the third thing I'd say is when I start an arrangement, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. And it's therefore critical for me to have a space where I can think and be inspired. And that's why my garden room is just perfect for that. So what's been absolutely amazing is my clients' reaction to the garden room, because one of my visions that I had in mind when it was first being built was to have this little oasis of calm where, for example, people could come and talk about funeral flowers in a very private and calm space. And I would say the same thing for weddings, meeting a bride where you're surrounded by flowers in a really beautiful space that's very inspirational. It is amazing. And the other thing I'd say is private workshops. People love the space because it's very creative, and what they've said is they can really escape from the outside world. So one of the unusual things about this project was that we worked with a specific architect, and that's Felix Lewis, who has his own architect business, and we brought him in to design the garden room for us. And because we've worked with him before, he knew our style, which is very contemporary. He brought in some very unique touches to the aesthetics of the build, like the black, I call it black cladding, but it's called burnt ebony, and also the corten steel cladding, which is weathered over time. So when that goes in, it's silver and it gradually corrodes. And those specific unique touches were just fantastic that Felix came up with for us. The last year has been a year of transformation, and the garden room is the most amazing space, and it's a critical kind of foundation because it's where I do my work of that transformation process. And that's one of the things we talked to Hawksbeck about in the beginning, that this was something that was completely new, it was very innovative. We had a particular architect in mind. We really like design, and I think what Hawksbeck were great at was flexing to our brief and being part of that transformation journey. And we are absolutely delighted with the result, as are Hawksbeck and all the team.